everyone, Crafting Vicky here with you, and I'm here for I don't remember which week, but for the using your scraps or stash for the cards. Yes, usually I did one of the Christmas cards, but this year, for the beginning at least of the year, I'm thinking of doing 2 weeks of the stash and 1 week of the Christmas. So we will see how that goes. So next week should be your Christmas cards, because I know you guys love it. So yeah, I'm still going to be doing it, but I needed a break from Christmas. Just too much Christmas. So last week we did a bunch of cards. We did 4 cards very cheaply with supplies that were around the house, and I mentioned to you guys that we could use watercolors that are really cheap and easy to find. So this one is a Crayola set, and this one here I purchased at the thrift store, I believe. So these sets are like super easy to find. Now the brush I'm using is a brush from the dollar store, and it's part of a kit of all of these. And I'm actually gonna pull out that big one too. So very cheap, like nothing expensive on here. This time I didn't want to use my handwriting. I might, but I just didn't really feel like it. So I pulled out Hello. This is a little set I believe I got at Dollar Tree. So they're easy, fairly easy to find. And anyway, as you saw last week, you can use your own handwriting. And then I've got a Thank You and Thinking of You, and both of these I found at the thrift store. So I'm going with that, thinking that, you know, it's still fairly inexpensive and easy to find, and I'm hoping that you're gonna appreciate that. Now, one of the things that I love using watercolor on is book paper. So let's use an old book, French book, and this one I used the cover for something else, so I need to use up the actual paper. And I love that it's yellowed. I find that it's even better. And there's in the Reader's Digest there are images, so if not that those ones are really nice for this, but you could find some images that are pretty and would be perfect for this type of thing. This could be fun for stamping the hello on, so we will see about that. So let's just have fun with some watercolor, and basically what you're gonna be wanting to do here is just to do some background. I'm having trouble, so just some backgrounds of different colors on there, and just play and enjoy. This is nothing, you know, super fancy. It's just because those are not fancy paints. You're just having fun, and this is not watercolor paper either. It's paper you can find super easily, because who doesn't have books? If you don't, you can find them at thrift store, garage sales, libraries sometimes donate them. So usually it's something that's very easy to find. It's just a question of playing with the different colors that you want. And I'm thinking I want to bring in a bit of green. It's still too yellow. Don't really see the difference, so let's go with this one. And this can make a background for a couple of cards. So we put this one aside to dry. And when that one is drying, let's make another one. And this time let's go with blues. And I like the fact that it's a bright blue. And if you're taking the supplies from your kids, well, one thing that you can do is play with them and have them make backgrounds like this for you guys. That'd be a cool activity. And for those of you that don't have kids but have grandkids, that's also a great thing to do with them. And usually they get very excited to see us play with their stuff. I like the purple. I'm thinking I want a bit of pink maybe. So that one I called done as well. Let's go with some red. Okay, so this is not bright red. It's more like an orangey red. This looks more like a bright red. This one here. Yeah, that one is bright red. So I've got a feeling that the yellow is going to be a bright yellow as well. So let's try that. Yep. These are more pastel-y, as you can see here. Okay, so that one I'm gonna call done. Oops. So I'm looking for some bright colors because tired of snow. I was tired of the snow before Christmas even came. So you can imagine by now how tired of it I am. Wonder. Kind of fun because it kind of blocks out some of the text. So just have fun and experiment, basically. That's the lesson to this. And no two papers will ever be the same because, well, unless you're very good. I'm not. I can't repeat the same. Plus, on top of it, let's be honest, you're using book paper, so the book page are in themselves different from one to the next. So already you've got some differences. They're not all the same. I'm just trying to put my paint back where it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to dry this off a bit. You could use a hair dryer if you don't have one of those, or just wait and be patient. I'm not. Because I want to play with them. But I can sense they're still quite wet, so I'm going to put them aside a bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to do some other cards. So one of the things that I have a lot of is those little booklets. And when I made recently some little books, and I just needed the inside part, so that left me with some borders. And I kept the borders, thinking that those would be perfect for cards. Now, what I was thinking would be pretty is if I was to put something like this. See? So I was thinking of just doing borders on this and to lay them down and make my own pattern of paper. So black paper is fairly easy to find. You could use construction paper. You can use all kinds of different papers. I'm basically just, and my strips are not the same width all the time. And it doesn't matter because we're making little cards that are handmade, and just in that they're already special and different. So I'm not concerned about this. Yeah, I've got cat hair. That's what happens when you've got cats all over the place. It's kind of hard to not have cat hair everywhere. Okay, so I think it's not gonna fit on there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it down. So let's first cut off those strips, and then cut this off so that it's kind of the same length, same size as the other side, kind of. And we've got a little card here. Now, okay, so here, and then this one would be a nice thinking of you card. So one of the things that I told you about is the book paper, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to stamp a little thinking of you on this. And voila, we've got one. And so here we go. Got thinking of you. And I wonder if I want to put some buttons on there. Do I want to put a button? And I hope that you're very serious when you mentioned that you guys don't mind hearing the noise, because they're being particularly loud today. So yeah. So this could be cute, or do I go something like that, or something smaller maybe? It'd be good if it was two that were similar, but these are all odds and end type of buttons, so they're not necessarily the same size or same color even. So There's this little one and that little one, but that's too small. So I kind of like the big ones. I kind of like the big ones. So maybe something like that. Or do I put it, or I don't put it at all? Or I do have an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. We'll try it. So here's another piece of the paper. Just gonna stamp the flower on it. And then I'm gonna cut this out. And yeah, they keep making noise. It's my daughter's particularly loud. Okay, so here and I was thinking that now that we've got that here, it might be cute to just put a button in the center. Yeah, I like that. And then what I can do too, so keep your buttons. As I said, you can take them off old clothes that are not good anymore. You can find them in garage sales, you can find them at thrift stores, all kinds of places. You can find them at dollar stores as well. Of course, you can also purchase them at more expensive store, but I'm more about being thrifty. And if you mention to people that you collect those, often people will just give you a bunch when they find out that, because one of the things too, I keep all the buttons that I get, the extra buttons that I get when I purchase clothes, and I put them in a bin. But after a while, the clothes that had those buttons have been given away or whatever, and I still have the buttons. So one time I started cleaning that, and that gave me a bunch of buttons. So cheap way of doing this. Okay, now I'm having trouble with my little flower. I don't want to tear it. And I was thinking for my little button that it might be cute to have a bit of string in it. Just for the fun of it. It's not because our cards are cheap that we can't make them a bit fancier. So you could put your button that way, or you could put it, oops, this way. And I think I kind of like it that way. And might actually leave the string as well, because I kind of like that too. So just gonna tape that down. And we've got one card done. Now, of course, this is taking longer than the usual cards. I mean, it's a lot faster to just put a sticker on a card, so there's nothing wrong with that. I've done plenty. But if you want to take the time and do something a little bit different, I just figured I would share with you ideas of this kind. So that's one card done. So basically we can do all of these, the same type of thing with all of these strips. But I'm thinking of going with my watercolor paper. And still a bit humid. It still needs to dry a bit. Okay, so now it's drier. And one of the things that we can do is to just put it on there. And I had an idea. Where did it go? I had an idea with the doilies that I had last time. So what if I was to put the text that way? Do that. And I'm gonna cut that side first. I want it to fit in there. I'm gonna cut this side and that side, and I've cut it crooked, and then cut it and two. So now we've got two backgrounds. And what I was thinking would be fun was to place the doily smack in the middle. So cut it in half. So cut this in half. And then place it like that on the card. I'm thinking that it might pop more if there was a black background. So these are leftover pieces of different things that I have. So keep your little bits and pieces, they're always useful. And I'm actually going to keep this one. I was going to throw it away, but I'm going to keep it because I'm thinking I might put the sentiment on top. So this would be like that. And then I was thinking of putting the sentiment right there. So do I want a bigger border? No, I think I like the border just the way it is. Okay, so this could be a thank you card. And we've got those little leftover pieces of paper. So I'm going to just use one of those. And stamp my little thank you. Here we go. And then just because I always need little thank you cards, so it's a good thing. And then I can throw away these two little pieces, and I don't feel guilty about it. Now, one thing I like to do is to place it on a corner like this, and then I can just go around it. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, this doing this new series this way, we're not making as many cards. but we're exploring all, you know, different aspects. And I'm thinking even for the Christmas cards, I've shown you fast ones, but I'm probably gonna do recycling, but make them longer, as in not the video longer, but the card making, to make it longer. So see, I think that looks very cute, and it's a good thing to it's a fast way. Doilies are readily available. So is black cardstock, book paper, the watercolor. You can do a ton of those backgrounds and then have them ready for whenever you want to do something. It could be card making, but it could be ATCs. They could be used for index cards. There's all kinds of ways that you can use these things once you've got them made. And so glue that down and just glue my little thank you. And here we go. And that's the second card done. And I think it turned out really cute. So that's another one. So we've got this one, and I've used my black cardstock that I had close by, but I have some other ones. These are pieces of cardstock that I purchased. They're 5x7, I believe, and I purchased those at Michael's when they went on sale. So I had, because at the time I was making a lot of cards, so I have a lot of these little pieces, and they're great for scrapbooking as well. So yeah. So this one is going to be fairly similar, and I'm going to use the same layout. But I can do a hello. I haven't used the hello yet, so I think that would be very pretty. So let's do that. And just and as I said, if you don't have a stamp that says hello, well, you can just handwrite it the way we did last week. There's nothing that stops you from doing that. It makes it even more personal. I'm just lazy, and I mentioned before I don't particularly like my handwriting, so I'm practicing on that. I'm trying to give myself some slack, but at the same time, if I can use some of my stamps, I'm going to do so, especially since I've got them and I need to use up my stuff. So stamping is one of the things that I'm hoping to do more of. And talking of stamping, I'm thinking that maybe the next time we do this type of card, one thing that might be fun is to do some stamping for backgrounds. So maybe do that, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have background stamps that you can use, and that you probably don't use quite as often as you would like to use. So, and we can always use our silicone mats. That would work too. So, and I really like that one. So we only made 3 cards in 30 minutes. Only 3. But I'm hoping that I gave you some ideas. I'm hoping that you're gonna have fun playing with your kids, doing that sort of thing, borrowing their paints. Got some comments last week about having, you know, fancier watercolors and not using them. Well, now it's the time to try to use your stuff. So let's do this together and encourage each other to use up that stash that we've got and we never use. It's going to justify having all of those things. And here we go. So got these 3 cards. So I'm hoping that you've enjoyed this and that you will want to see more of this. I thought I was going to use some magazine pages. I didn't. Maybe next time. Who knows? I'm still going to try to do stuff like this with cheaper material, stuff that you have readily available. I'm going to try to do that more, just because I think it's a great option and people don't see necessarily stuff that way. So I mean, you might not have thought of using the borders of your memo pads, and it's a fun border. You could use washi, of course, if you've got washi, but if you don't, this is a great option. You could have done the same type of border with some magazine paper. That's something that we might do next time. So who knows? But there's great options out there, and I just want you to open up your eyes to possibilities, because it's all about possibilities. So bye everyone.